I don't know how I did this, but I've got this dog face I can't get rid of. We're getting started right now. I got this dog face on here that I can't get rid of. Sorry. I put on my shirt because I look motley. See if we can't get rid of this. And here we get started. I have no idea how I got this dog face, but Jill and I were testing, and I put on the dog face, and now I don't know how to get rid of it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, now let me get rid of this, and let's get rolling. All right, Google Effects. There, that's going to take the dog face off. Hello, everybody. This is Mark, and let's get started. First of all, a couple of housekeeping things. Number one is there is a comment stream at the bottom if you're watching this through the Facebook feed at hometownconcerts.com, which is otherwise known as an app on the Hometown Social Club central site. We've had kind of an interesting afternoon, and I've been talking about a particular post that has to do with what the first album was that we ever received, whether we purchased it ourselves or whether we went to a store and got it, etc. And we've been posting the covers on the thread through our private focus group page, and it's been a lot of fun. It was actually kind of ignited with Bill Thompson, and I can't remember exactly who was the first person that actually got that rolling, but anyway, I've invited not only those in the focus group, but I posted a couple of links on some of the AHS, Arapahoe High School groups, whether they be reunion groups, etc., to check us out, tune in, and so we can talk a little bit about these record albums, our first record albums. But Jill Wagner hopefully will be will be joining me on this particular one. We've tried to actually get this right, and where people can join and actually be on the panel, and so I'm not doing the whole thing here. And I imagine that if this isn't working correctly or whatever, I'll hear about it fairly soon. First of all, I'd like to talk about the weekend. We actually had a triple birthday weekend in Denver. So Carol and I flew out to the Denver area, and we went to, and Jill flew in from Minneapolis. There were, gosh, I think 9 of us in total that went to the John Fogerty concert at Fiddler's Green and had a terrific time. There was, first of all, Carol and I, Jill joined us, Gary Bang and his wife, Kathy Holland, who's class of '73, and her husband, and Patsy Maroney, and Deb Barton, also from the class of '73. They didn't have seats with us, but they were one section over, and we met beforehand to have pizza down at the Mellow Mushroom, which is a restaurant. It's a Southern-based chain, and it's on the 16th Street Mall in Denver. And so we kind of met down there at 4 o'clock on Saturday, and had a great time, just kind of having pizza and reminiscing about the kind of the things that we talk about in the focus group, and where, you know, the whole purpose of Hometown Social Club is kind of connecting our age group with back in the day, as well as um, uh, you know, talking about the various issues that we are confronted with in this ever complex society that we're in, being who we are, you know, in our whether it be our 50s, 60s, even 70s in some cases. So so we had pizza down there, and then we all kind of broke and went downtown, or I mean, went on over to Fiddler's Green and watched a concert. John Fogerty has not lost a thing. What most people don't know, they know that he's a lot of Creedence Clearwater. He was Creedence Clearwater, but what a lot of people don't know is what an amazing guitarist is. It fit in very well with what we're doing here, because you know, the whole deal with HSC is that the contextual type commentary that goes along with the music, etc., and we have a lot of stories to go with it. We were doing this afternoon is we were kind of posting what our favorite albums were, or what our first albums were, and that kind of goes into different, you know, it's a conversation in itself, where you know, we talk about you know, why we got the album, or where we got the album, how much we spent for the album, what it means to us, etc. And what John Fogerty did during the concert on Saturday night, which is an absolutely beautiful Colorado evening, amazing sunset, is the first time I'd ever been to Fiddler's Green. Been to Red Rocks 4,000 times. I'd never been to Fiddler's Green. And it was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful place. If you haven't been there and you're in the Denver area, please go. But John Fogerty would do, you know, every song he'd do, you've heard of, and because they had such a string of hits, especially in 1969, where they had 3 albums that came out. And so these 3 albums had hit after hit after hit after hit. And so in between these songs, he would talk about different stories. They actually got invited to Woodstock, because in 1969 was the year of Woodstock, and it was an amazing, amazing time. And so, but what we didn't, I don't know when was the last time you saw the movie Woodstock, or it was a 3-album set, but Creedence was not on there. And Fogerty said the reason is that they were actually invited to a primetime Saturday show. They were going to go on, I think, at 9 o'clock on Saturday night. But by the time, you know, Woodstock, the whole organization or whatever was anything but that. Yeah, it wasn't organized very well. It was the first go around. It was the first rodeo for a lot of people. And, you know, there had never been anything like that. Very much like what I'm doing right now, is we're trying to actually get this whole Google Hangout straight. And having a tough time doing so with links and all that kind of a thing. And so by the time the Creedence got on and started playing their music, it was 3 o'clock in the morning. It had been raining, I think, or whatever. And you know, everybody was, the band that played before them was the Grateful Dead. It's, you know, the quintessential, if that's a word, jam band, in which everybody's doing their acid, everybody's now fallen to sleep, they're all burned out. And so Creedence comes on to everybody who's asleep. And I mean, it was just not really much of a set at all, according to John Fogerty. So that was a cool story. He's full of these kinds of stories throughout the evening as they'd play his music. One cool thing is he had a son. One of his sons was on stage with him playing an amazing guitar. John hasn't lost a thing as far as his hands and what he can do with the guitar. And it was just a magical evening. It was very electric. That guy can flat out rock out. So that's what we did over the weekend. It was a kind of a birthday weekend. It was Gary Bang's birthday. It was Joe Wagner's birthday. It was my birthday. And so we all had a fantastic time. And I hope the next time we do this is you can all come along and join us, and we'll have a good time. So that's enough about the concert and enough about the weekend. I do not see, I'm going to have to go on here and see if I can find the comment stream of the Hometown Social Club comments stream. But if you are on there, and it's hard doing this by myself. So if I can go to, hold on just a second. 22, let's see, Hometown Social Club, and I can go to let's see, bear with me, go into 22S. All right, I'm here, and let's see. Okay, if anybody, if you can see the comment stream below, go to the bottom and unclick the where it says auto refresh comments, because if you're making comments in there or chatting, etc., you'll want to unclick that because it'll cut you off as you're typing. And the other thing too is if you have a fuzzy screen or whatever, let's see if there's a gear. No, there's not a gear on this anymore. They keep changing software. So that's the only thing you need to do. And you can go ahead and comment, or you can go ahead and chat in the stream. That just kind of gets you familiarized with these Google Hangouts as they're embedded in Facebook. It's a confusing thing, but once you get the hang of it, you can go in, I can go ahead and comment. Now there's a little delay, like if you were to call into a radio station, there's a delay. So I'm just gonna go, hello, everybody, comment, and it should comment on here if in fact my iPad's working. And again, I'm on a delay, so it may come up a little later on, and then we'll see. When Jill shows up, she can go on the comment and also comment herself. What we were talking about, it was these the first albums that we received. My first one that I got was Meet the Beatles, and it was after the Ed Sullivan Show. And I fussed a lot because I had a sister who was 4 years older than I was. And I just told my mom, I said, look, she got it. I want a copy too. So my mom got me a Meet the Beatles album. So technically that was my first album, but at that time, I was 10 years old, and really, while I love watching the Beatles on the Ed Sullivan Show, it really, like the first album that I actually asked for later on was the Herman's Hermits, and that was my my first album. Had people say that Jill's first album was, she first said Knights of White Satin, which was, of course, the most familiar and famous song off the Days of Future Past album. And unless, that was also a symphonic album, there was a lot of instrumentation on that album, and not so many, you had to kind of wade through all this symphonic stuff to get to Tuesday Afternoon and Knights in White Satin. That was her first album. Jay Brady, his first albums were, if I remember correctly, Tumbleweed Connection of Elton John, and an album by the Association. I can only assume that album was the one with Cherish and Along Comes Mary, and whatever that album's name was. I know my older sister had that album. That was definitely they had some big hits when we were in high school. Let's see if they're and Jay's on there. He's found it again. So again, if you're watching this, chances are you have found it or whatever, but you just go to, you can access this broadcast, or you can tell others to access it by just simply going to hometownconcerts.com. That'll forward you right on over to the registration. If you've never registered before, and you'll need to put in your email address, it'll let you through the gate, and then you'll be on here. Once you've done that, if you've done that ever before, that's the only time you need to do that. Then when you come back, doesn't matter if it's me on here or anybody else, if I'm doing an interview, if we're having a concert, we're having any type of a trivia contest or whatever, is you'll have easy access, because we already have you logged as being registered with the Hometown Social Club. All right. So if you could, I can't tell who is viewing on here. If you could please make a comment at the bottom so we can test that out, I would certainly appreciate it. And then let me find out if Jill is going to be checking in and joining on here. We've tried to get this right, and I sent her a link, but apparently that link is not going to bring her on to this panel. We got to get this straight here. Let's see here. All right. So if you are watching, if you could make the comment at the bottom of the Facebook feed, and just say hello or whatever. What we're doing is we're testing out the comment stream in this particular, in the Google Hangout. Google, by the way, just changed everything. They've just, they're doing a company reorganization, going by different names, et cetera, and they've just done some software changes. So we have to deal with all of that. And I just actually signed on for the first time in a couple of weeks since going to Denver and all that kind of thing today, and saw that they had kind of changed everything on us. So, it looks like that we're not getting anybody making comments on here. So it's very possible that I may be talking to myself today, and this may be the only time that. So until we can get this ironed out and can get Jill on here and other people on here, I'm not going to do this alone, but I will. We'll continue to work on this until we've got an established consistency of programming on here, where we have various topics that we talk about. It's tough doing this as just a monologue, talking about a concert over the last weekend, or discussing the same things over again if we don't have any kind of interaction, whether it be in the Facebook feed, or whether it be as a panel, in these Google Hangouts. What you need to do in order to participate is have a camera, whether it be on your phone or whether it be on a tablet, or whether it be in your laptop or even a desktop, have a cam. And then the other thing is to have a microphone. And the microphone is resident in most, in phones. It can be resident in your laptops, resident in your tablets. And you just, and I'll be having some trainings on just simple things on how to participate in one of these Hangouts, where you can talk, like talking on in a phone. So you don't just have somebody talking at you. We're actually chatting as if we were on a telephone. We have got a handful of viewers right now, and what I'm going to ask for those viewers to do is make a comment below by just saying hello, or whatever, so we can kind of test that out and see how it's working. Um, the very first one I did out on our deck, out and back here, and I wasn't close to our internet connection. It didn't work very well. What we have today, what I'm doing today, is doing something that really should not be done. I should have actually a solid color behind me, a dark color, and I have, windows that are going outside. So, so you can have all sorts of different ways of doing this, and it can be very casual and not really, not this professional thing with microphones and lights and the brushed up type things going on. Since I don't have Jill with me today, there's a couple of things I'm not going to be able to do, so we're going to cut this short today. But we'd like to hold this to a half hour. If in fact that we do have a lively conversation go on, taking place, then this can go up to an hour. But don't want to take any further time of your time today. I want to thank you for tuning in. Get back to the focus group chat. And if you're not a member of the focus group and you're tuning in from somewhere else, please ask to be let into our focus group, where we talk about different things as if it's just a regular Facebook group. And then we're talking about the development of the Hometown Social Club as we lead up to launching some other towns, whatever those towns will be, where they're talking about things that are specific to their particular area where they grew up. And then what we'll be doing is putting together some content that is, if you're talking about John Fogerty and Creedence Clearwater Revival, or getting our driver's license back in the late 60s, early 70s, or whatever time that was, those are the kinds of things that Hometown Social Club will be touching on. It's back in the day, as well as some issues that confront us today. It is not a political site. It is not a polarizing type site. There are different things to argue: religion, philosophy, and politics. But this definitely has music as a centerpiece in the culture of back in the day, but also doing things like teaching Jay Brady and Jill Wagner and other people how to just go out there and do a search for cover. How to take to curate or to save an image of the front cover of the Elton John Tumbleweed Connection album, and inserting it into a Facebook post on the thread when we're chatting on Facebook. Things that may be just common things of what people maybe have learned a while ago how to do, and something that I do real quickly or whatever may not come as so easy for other people. So we're here to help each other and have a good time. And the technology is the hardest part. Now, Bill Thompson has said that he had actually gone on to YouTube first and may have been, and you can watch this on YouTube. You can also watch it on Google Plus if you want, and this can get very, very confusing. What I want to do is I want to have these Google Hangouts or these live Hangouts. I won't even mention Google's name on the Facebook feed. So if you're on whatever hometown you are, Bill Thompson is in New Hampshire, and it's Auburn, New Hampshire. So if he would have grown up in Auburn, New Hampshire, and I know that I always get it, I really don't get it straight. I think he grew up in San Diego. So if it's the San Diego Social Club, okay, and he's on the San Diego Social Club page, then he will see me right now. And anybody that is on the panel, he will see it in the news feed, actually on an app that is in the San Diego Social Club page. He will not find it. He can also find it on YouTube. But the point is actually to have that particular show, that theater taking place in San Diego Social Club. It's very confusing, I know. We want to get to the point where it's not so confusing. All right. So that's why I say that if you go to hometownconcerts.com, it'll forward it to this app that is on the Facebook page, the Facebook fan page. In the particular example I gave with Bill Thompson, he grew up in San Diego Social Club page. Okay. For those of you in Littleton Social Club page. We happen to have, it's kind of like homeroom in high school, or the fountain on Main Street, where people congregate. We have this center at Hometown Social Club, but that's not a hometown in itself. It just happens to be a place it's kind of like where bulletins are read or whatever for this project that we're doing. Then we have the focus group, which is a Facebook group, which is private. It's closed. It's for people that are helping us out develop this vision of Hometown Social Club. So it can be rather confusing as to where you are. But the point is that there is a theater, and whatever's going on in the theater is on Facebook. It's not on Google. It's not at YouTube. But this will be saved as a YouTube video on the YouTube site. So Google is kind of messing us all up here. This is using Facebook as the platform, and everything is going to be resident on Facebook. So that's why I say, there's two entry points, but it eventually is on Facebook itself. If you tune in late, there is a delay between the YouTube feed and the Facebook feed. You're going to see one and the same, but there is a delay. My objective is to have everything in the Facebook theater, whether we call this Hometown Theater, Hometown Concerts, whatever that it's eventually called. A lot of this is going to be, I don't have hometownsocialclub.com, for example, because some band over in Holland owns that. So eventually I'll talk to the band over there. I'll trade them some record albums for the hometownsocialclub.com, and away we'll go. I've done it before. We'll do it again at some point in time. In the meantime, they can do their brand of music over there in Holland and have their own peeps. But as of right now, this is what we have. Bill says, create an SOP to explain how to connect, how to use a camera, etc. That's exactly what I'm going to do, Bill. Everybody's going to get a cheat sheet. The cheat sheet is going to be, will be posted, but I'm even going to make it easier than that. We're going to get this down to where it's easy for everybody. You click a couple of times and you're on. This is Bill's, I believe this is Bill's first time on one of these hangouts. And so from now on, he'll know the first time you do this, you'll go, oh, this is what I was supposed to do. I haven't done a very good job of coming up with, communicating how to do this. But you know what? I also know that people don't read. Even if I do create an event on Facebook, I send out emails, I post on here saying, just go here and you'll get there. Go here and you get there. Is that we know too much. We know we just are enough to confuse ourselves. I'm the first one that's guilty of that. And it's amazing how confusing that we all make this to be. Google is front and center to make things as confusing as possible. As I've mentioned before, even the Google Hangout changed on August 1st. They now have something that was completely different from the last time I did this. And I'm sitting here, I turn my switches on, and all of a sudden it's like, I'm looking at this thing going, oh my God. It's like everything, the interface is different. And everything was different. And so I'm going, what the heck? What do I do? So, but I know different things. I know how to do, for example, I know how to put my dog face on, but I don't know how to take my dog face off. And I know how to do a round of applause for finding the Google effects. That's all great. But for all of you that are out there going, all I want to do is I want to come on and chat. Jill, for example, Jill and I have been through this now 3 or 4 times. Is sitting here going, okay, this next time we're going to know how to do this. And she's going to have this link and she's going to click on it. And now all of a sudden Jill's going to be here. She's not here again. And this is the second time in a row. And it's just like, we had this all down. It's just that somehow Google has made it so difficult to just do one simple thing where all I have to do is just say to Google, put a couple of things on here, push a button to invite somebody to join you online. And it should be that simple. It's not, because they keep changing things on us. But the dog face is pretty cool. We just got back. Bill says, I do this shit every day. If you need help, I'm here. Okay, well, Bill, what? Here's the link. The link is copy. And of course, I could go share screen. So I'm going to go now to screen share. Now, this may be really something. All right. We're going to share screens, everybody. All right. Now you can see what's on my screen. All right. Now I am going to go to Hometown Social Club. All right. Live Hangouts, HSC Live Hangouts. Okay. This is where hometownconcerts.com points to. It's an app that is on the Hometown Social Club site. And when I go down here, this is where it's slow, but this is where you would see, and I'm going to have to probably turn my sound off because otherwise there's a delay and you'll hear there we go. Okay, so what you see on here is going to be delayed, but you'll see this is where you should be right now on the Facebook site. Bill says Alphabet, which is a new Google name. It's a new holding company for Google, and it's not as easy as ABC. Funny guy, Bill. But this is, let me see if I can go to, okay, you see my my notepad here. That is the link that I thought would take everybody to actually be on the Hangout. Jill is right here. I am here. I am here. Yep, I am on. I am here. I am here. I am here. But somehow, I'm going to click that, and let's see if she can click on that and actually join. But that is and if you click on this right here, it's going to take you to the event. Now, Bill, you are on. If in fact that you can point me to where you can actually join on this particular Hangout, then please do join. But as of right now, I have absolutely no idea how come we do not have Jill on this particular thing. So Jill, actually, I can see Jill where there is a chat on YouTube, and this is something that I'm trying to get straight. Is that the chat should be on Facebook, not on YouTube. The whole point of this is that Facebook is used Facebook, we want to have Facebook be the comment thread, because that comment stream doesn't go anywhere. It's a permanent thing, and that everything else is resident on Facebook. But yet here we are, and you can see my screen is that Jill and Bill are chatting on YouTube. YouTube is Google, it's not Facebook. And yet these guys are over on YouTube watching this on YouTube. YouTube is owned by Google. It's not Facebook, they're competitors. Facebook is, now Jill made a comment on Facebook, and let's see what she's got over here. I've been on, she says. All right. But we don't know. See, what we don't know, and of course, what Bill may be able to help us with is why, and Jill and I are able to actually do this when we are on where we've done these tests on these Hangouts. Well, there you go. There she is. But the thing is that why isn't she in a box, as we call it, on now it's gonna say I'm already on. Join. Okay, I'm there already. And I'm going to stop screen sharing. Stop presenting. Stop screen sharing. So I got my dog face again. And I am going to, let's see. Stop presenting. All right, and I'm going to stop the dog face. Okay. I got to get out of YouTube. Hold on. There we go. I guess. Oh, now I'm on the Hometown Social Club part, and I got to get off that. Live events. Start to hang out on air. Okay. Okay. So I'm back. Anyway, all right. So it's 6:38. I've got to get rolling. But thanks for everybody tuning in and bearing with us. We've got to figure out, and Bill and anybody else, whoever wants to help, actually get this arranged to where now we can have somebody besides me on these things, and get so we can get up to 10 people on here chatting away. And so we'll get some help on here and go from there. Jill and I certainly we can't seem to get it together as far as these links are concerned. I don't know. So we will talk at you later. See you on Facebook. See you within the focus group. Keep posting on there as far as who your, what your first, record album was. We'll keep learning. Jay learned something today. We'll continue to learn together and help each other out. And so this is the dog-faced boy. Put the dog face back on. No, never mind. Yeah, I like the dog face. There it is. We'll talk to you later. And Bill, if you could stay on afterwards and you can say, okay, this is what you're doing wrong, I'd appreciate it. We're missing something rather basic. Talk to you later. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.